Okay, everyone, from that clickety clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 38, season 2. Today's date is May 21st, 2023, and welcome to the show. So here's today's lineup. From the 1950s, I have the television Western, Broken Arrow. From the 1960s, the animated TV series Space Ghost and Dino Boy. From 1970s, the television sitcom All's Fair. From 1980s, the crime drama Black's Magic. From the 1990s, the TV sitcom Aliens in the Family. From the 2000s, the TV drama that is, the Bedford Diaries. And from the 2010s, the TV sitcom The Great Indoors. So that's quite a lineup. And it's been 2 weeks since I've done an episode, so I've been busy with other things. So before I get started, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Twinkle Cereal. A lot of people older than me would remember this. If you were born around the baby boom era, you were growing up in the 50s and the 60s, you would really remember this cereal. So this is from the commercial is from 1960. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll be right back with the program. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, kids, look what's new. A brand new cereal just for you. Twinkles, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package. See? Inside, delicious, crispy, crinkly stars. And outside, a real storybook. All about Twinkles, the magic elephant. See him fly with his rotor tail. Watch him do tricks with his magic trunk. Meet Twinkle's friends, Fulton the inventor, Sanford the parrot, Wilbur the monkey, and more. Read all about their adventures on every storybook package of Twinkles. And wait till you taste those golden little stars, filled with the goodness of energy oats and corn. Remember, only Twinkles has the storybook package. Just tear the magic line, and your storybook opens. Twinkles, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Twinkle's cereal. Let me give you a brief history of this product. It was introduced in 1960. It was an animated series. It was a tie-in with the Twinkles cereal, and and Twinkles was an elephant, and it was created by Total Television. You might know from Tennessee Tuxedo. And the segment had 52 episodes. It ran about a minute and a half. Not much. I never saw it. I just found some on YouTube, which is it wasn't state of the art animation, no, but so it featured a story, and the supporting characters. Let's see. The narrator was George S. Irving, and his pals were Twinkle's pals, that is, who were Wilbur the monkey, Fulton the camel, and Sanford the parrot. And when there was a crisis or a problem came up, he would use his rotor tail. He would like a propeller. Excuse me. And he would chant "Nose, nose, anything goes," and turns into trunk into something appropriate for the situation. So that's very fun, like that. Like I said before, it never went into syndication. As for the cereal, I don't know how long it was on the market. Probably about a few years. Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard it was very sweet. Very sweet. Like most cereals back then, a lot of it loaded with sugar. Well, bad for your teeth, bad for the kids, like that. It tastes good. So, so, but what's interesting about this cereal, they had the storybook attached to the back of the box. So I've seen certain commercials where kids are at the kitchen table eating their cereal and they're reading the story while they're eating. Yeah, like I said, and they turn the page, and I never did. I never done that. I don't know. Maybe I did that once or twice when I was a kid, but I never had Twinkles. So you will buy another box, and you will get the continuation of that, and make sure it's consistent, like that. So that's a great gimmick. It really is. Really was. That is. Excuse me. So but one time I bought a VHS tape at a comic book convention, and they had these compilation of cereals, and and a lot of commercials, and Twinkles was in them. Yeah, so that's kind of nice, and goes back to an innocent time. It really does. Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting history of the cereal. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I went down the list of what I'm going to talk about for this particular episode. Before I get started, I want to mention one thing. Like I said before, I haven't done a podcast episode in about a couple of weeks. I've been busy, and one person emailed me and said, "Is this you? You're doing TV Oblivion?" And I said, "Yeah." Because I love television. I've been watching it since the earliest stage of 3. I remember seeing I Love Lucy, for the first time. It was on WGN TV Channel 9 in Chicago, and I got hooked. And then I started watching more and more TV shows, reruns, then watched new programming, mostly from the 70s and 80s and early 90s, but I don't watch current, not much. I have a DVD collection. If I want to watch, to go back to when I was a child, I do that. Right now, I'm watching the X-Files. I've seen a few episodes when it aired. I did because I was working late at my job at the time. Now I'm watching like 2 episodes per day, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful show. You're hooked. You're glued to this TV show that is, with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. They're marvelous. I love, I love the monsters of the week. It's just like Night Stalker. That's a great show. I love it. Last time it was Murder, She Wrote. So after an X-Files, I don't know what I'll watch. We'll see. I'll let you know. Okay. So right now I'm going to talk about the TV Western from the 1950s, Broken Arrow. I'll give you a history of that. It was premiered on September 25th, 1956, ended June 24th, 1958. It aired on ABC, 2 seasons, 72 episodes in black and white. And it starred John Lupton as Indian Agent Tom Jeffords and Michael and Sarah as Apache Chief Cochise. And this is an unusual plot. Not very unusual. It's like with the Cowboys and the Indians allied themselves. And they became friends, And so that was very interesting because all the way back in history, the Indians were They were enemies, the Cowboys, that is. But I preferred they were friends. I still do, like that. The show was based on a novel called Blood Brother, and the author's name was Elliot Arnold. It was made into a film in 1950 that starred James Stewart as Tom Jeffords and Jeff Chandler as playing as Cochise. I've never seen this movie. I'd like to watch it, so this would be interesting. I've seen most of Jimmy Stewart's movies, but not this one. So that's quite a. Now it's piqued my interest. I want to see the movie, like that. And so Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for Broken Arrow. It's very short. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about actor Michael and Sarah. It's interesting like that. I'll talk a little bit about John Lumpton too. I'll talk about both actors. Why not? Okay, so sit back and enjoy the theme song for Broken Arrow. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Broken Arrow. I'll talk a little bit about actor John Lupton. I'll also talk about Michael and Sarah, of course. Let's see. He was born John Roland Lupton, August 23rd, 1928, in Highland Park, Illinois, yeah, outside of Chicago, where I live. And he then he moved to Wisconsin in Shorewood, Wisconsin, and then he appeared in stock theater. Did some plays, and then he got hired in Hollywood, and then he appeared in a few movies, a lot of television. A lot of television. He appeared in several episodes as a college student in the sitcom Halls of Ivy, if you remember that. Also appeared in the first one of the first soap operas on ABC, Never Too Young, if you remember that. He appeared in a lot of westerns, also TV dramas. Perry Mason, he did that. Also, another western, Death Valley Days, did that. Yeah, just a lot of westerns he did. Any role, like that, like Laramie, and also sitcoms. He appeared in other movies, The Greatest Story Ever Told, also as Jesse James in Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter. I saw that one. Oh, that's funny. And let's see what else. And then the funny thing is, he appeared in a lot of TV commercials for Anacin. Those relief tablets, and he's one of those husbands yelling at his wife. They did a lot of those. They have that tension and they're yelling on that. His other role was in Days of Our Lives, a soap opera. He played Tommy Horton Jr., and he was there from 1967 to 1980. Oh, a long time. My mom still watches that show. I watch it too. Then he passed away on November 3rd, 1993, and he was 65 years old. Like that. So, as for Michael and Sarah, he was a wonderful actor. Oh, I liked him a lot. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. He was born April 15th, 1922. And he was born in Syria. It's called the Band-Aid for Syria and the Lebanon, like that. And so he was Lebanese. The family they lived in Lowell, Massachusetts. Then they moved to California. But he got the acting bug. So he wanted to be a doctor, but no. So he got the acting bug, and then he started appearing on television. Lots of television. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Lone Ranger, then Cochise, when he played Cochise in the TV series Broken Arrow, that became his famous role, like that. And then he met Barbara Eden from My Dream of Jeannie. They got married. He also appeared in her show about 2 times, like that. And continued acting. He did some movies. Also, he was in The Greatest Story Ever Told. And let's see. He continued to act also Perry Mason, and then he didn't appear much later on in years until he was famous for voicing as Mr. Freeze on the anime series Batman. He was great. His voice. Oh, he was wonderful. He really was like that. And then he passed away on July 31st on 2013, and he had Alzheimer's. So that was sad like that. But Barbara Eden's still with us. Oh, she's still with us to this day, and lovely as always. But they got divorced later when they were working together. So that's it. So as for Broken Arrow, I don't know if it's on DVD. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I saw a couple episodes on YouTube. I liked the show. It was great. It really was. So you can catch a few episodes on YouTube if you'd like. Okay. I'm sure it's on DVD, one of those bargain basement DVDs. That public domain. It's got to be. Okay. All right. Next. Let's see. The next show I'm going to talk about from the 1960s is Space Ghost and Dino Boy. I remember this TV show very well. So that premiered on September 10th, 1966. Ended September 16th, 1967. Aired on CBS. It was 30 minutes from the Hanna-Barbera company. Aired one season, 20 episodes. And so it featured, actually it's two segments of the series. It was just the Space Ghost and also Dino Boy in the Lost Valley, like that. Sometimes they alternate like that. And so for Space Ghost, the plot was they were fight villains in outer space, and he had sidekicks called Jan and Jace and their pet monkey Blip. And then he had enemies, Zorak, Brack, and his brother Sisto, the Creature King. Also the Black Widow, also known as Spider-Woman, Lokar, Moltar, and Metalis. Oh, that was great. The voice of Space Ghost was none other than Gary Owens from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, the announcer. He also did the introduction. The voice of Jan, she also did the Black Widow. There's Ginny Tyler. And the voice of Jace was Tim Matheson, famous actor. Know him as that is a Otter from Animal House. Of course, you have Don Messick. He did all the other voices, Blip and all of those. Talented man. Also, the supporting cast, we have Ted Cassidy, Lurch from Addams Family, Paul Frees, Alan Reed. He played Glassdoor the Sorcerer. He was Fred Flintstone, and Paul Winchell was in there too. So, and then later on, Space Ghost came back as a parody of a talk show. They did that. So, it was called Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I saw a couple of those aired on the Cartoon Network. And that ran for a long time. It really did. And they had the enemies with them, Moltar and Zorak. It's kind of funny. So that aired from April 15, 1994, and ended December 17, 1999, and that was moved to the Adult Swim late night programming, and then they brought it back, and they brought new episodes, and that was started in 2001 until 2004. So that's I might talk about that someday. As for what's the other show? Oh, for Dino Boy, Let's give you the plot. Dino Boy was a young boy called Todd. He parachuted out of a crashing plane with his parents still on board. I don't know what happened to his parents. I assume, I don't know, they passed away? They crashed? Oh, I don't know. So he parachuted out of the plane and landed in some unknown valley in South America where there were dinosaurs, prehistoric mammals, and cavemen. And somehow they survived extinction. And he would encounter like creatures and tribes like moss men, the rock pygmies, the worm people, the vampire men, oh, what kinds. And then he met a caveman named Ugg, and his pet baby Brontosaurus Bronte. That was his name. Also featured a woolly mammoth named Tusco, and they would help out in certain episodes like that. The voice of Dino Boy was Johnny Carson, not Johnny Carson, the talk show host. This was an actor. His name was John David Carson. They changed the name. Also, the voice of Ugg was Mike Road. You may know him as Race Bannon from Johnny Quest. And also Don Messick. He did the other voices. And Gary Owens did the narration of the show. And that appeared. Sometimes they had. I have the DVD. I had the DVD the show with Space Ghost. That's pretty good. I remember Space Ghost the most, but not Dino Boy. Not really. So it was kind of cool. It was really nice like that. So right now I'm going to play the introduction and the ending of Space Ghost and Dino Boy. And when I come back, I will talk about Gary Owens, the narrator and the voice of Space Ghost. Okay, so sit back and listen to the theme song and the ending of the show. Thank you.
Forced to parachute from a disabled plane, a young boy lands in a mysterious prehistoric valley filled with hidden dangers. When a saber-toothed tiger attacks, he is saved by a giant caveman. And so begins the friendship and adventures of Dino Boy and Ugg the Caveman in the Lost Valley.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Space Ghost and Dino Boy. That is a great theme song. I love that. I'll talk a little bit about Gary Owens. And he was born Gary Bernard Altman on May 10th, 1934, from Mitchell, South Dakota. He had a great voice, baritone. Oh, if you hear him, you know it's him. So he did a lot of radio, television, commercials, voice acting from Hanna-Barbera. His first cartoon voice acting was Roger Ramjet in the cartoons. And let's see, he did some DJing in his hometown. Then he moved to Omaha, Nebraska. Then he moved around all over the country, and then he landed in LA in the early 60s. And let's see. So then he got the job. He did the Green Hornet, and he appeared about 8 episodes of that. That's a great show. That's wonderful. And he got hired for Rowan Martin's Laughing as the announcer with his hand over his ear. But he most of the time, that's most of the time he did on the show. But he did participate in sketches with other people. Not many, very few. I have the DVD series, so I watched the whole thing twice. And he did appear on a few things, but mostly he was in the beginning, sometimes in the middle, and then at the end, at the closing of the show, he did that. And he worked up to the end, and he also guest starred in a few shows. The Munsters, The I Dream of Jeannie, and McHale's Navy. He did that. And he also appeared in The Love Bug from Disney in 1968. Did that. And so, what a talent. Oh, he was wonderful. And he passed away on February 12th, 2015, at the age of 80. He was great. Wonderful lamb. Okay. All right. Next up, I will talk about from the 1970s, the sitcom All's Fair. Here's a sitcom that I remembered, and I thought it would be a big hit, but no, it did not become that. So let's start with the history of the show. It premiered on September 20th, 1976, ended April 30th, 1977, aired on CBS for one season, 24 episodes, half-hour sitcom. And it starred Richard Crenna and Bernadette Peters. And it had, that's a good cast, those two. They had good chemistry on that. So the series starred as Richard Crenna was a conservative political columnist. And Bernadette Peters was a liberal photographer. He had a good chemistry, but he was much older than her, so like that. Also, but they did become romantically involved later on, like that. And let's see. So the rest of the cast consists of there was Lee Chamberlain. You know her from The Electric Company as Lucy Daniels. There was Alan Brooks. That was Richard's assistant. That was performed by J.A. Preston, also James Allen Preston. He did a lot of sitcoms. He was also in the movie Few Good Men. That's interesting. I think I remember that. Also, so Richard Crenna portrayed Richard C. Barrington, and Bernadette Peters was Charlotte Drake, and they called her Charlie. Also, Judith Cahan, I think I pronounced her name correctly, was Charlie's roommate, and she played Ginger Livingston. Also in the cast was Jack Dodson. We all know him as Howard Sprague from the Andy Griffith Show. He played a senator in Fred and Richard. He was Senator Wayne Joplin. Also, the aide to President Carter was Lanny Wolfe, portrayed by Michael Keaton. He's still a funny man. I'm Batman. So, what a wonderful man. And didn't do too well on the ratings. They did, the problem was they did a lot of yelling, just like All in the Family and Maude. Well, yeah, Maude did a lot of yelling as well, but it was a good show. I remember watching this all the time. You know, um, Bernadette Peters. She's cute as a button. She's still performing. I loved her. I really do. And Richard Crenna, he passed away a few years ago. He's famous for his role in R.M.S. Brooks and Walter Dutton, as in on radio and television. That started with Eve Arden. So, all right. So right now I'm going to play the theme song for All's Fair. When I come back, I will talk a little bit about Bernadette Peters, a little bit about her, her background. Okay, so sit back and enjoy the theme song for All's Fair, and I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, world! Guess who's going to have a baby?
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to All's Fair. I failed to mention this was created by Norman Lear, famous for All in the Family, Maude, The Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, all these wonderful sitcoms that he created. And he's 100 years old, over almost 101. He's still with us. Thank goodness, and he's still lucid, and talkative. Oh my God, what a wonderful man. Okay, and as for for Bernadette Peters, she was born February 28, 1948. She's an actress, singer, children's book author. She's famous for her roles on Broadway. Received a lot of nominations for Tonys. Did a lot of plays, musicals. And she's a great singer, but she also appeared in movies and television. Like, for example, in television, Carol Burnett Show, The Muppet Show, the movies, The Silent Movie, The Jerk, Pennies from Heaven with Steve Martin, and Annie. And so it's great. I think what was the last show I saw her? Katie Keene. Yeah, that was the last one I saw her in on the CW. She was on that show. She looked great, really did. And she didn't do much sitcoms except All's Fair, like that. But she hosted Saturday Night Live in 1981, but did a lot of appearances on TV talk shows. But it's fun to watch her, because she's so versatile, so talented, so that's great. I like her a lot, and it's wonderful like that. So she's still acting. She really is. She really does. She's really still acting to this day. Okay, next up we have from the 1990s, the sitcom, no, I'm sorry, from the 1980s, excuse me. We have the drama from the 1980s, yeah. It's Black's Magic. This show I remember fondly. And this starred Hal Linden and also Harry Morgan. The dependable Harry Morgan. So this premiered January 5th, 1986, ended May 7th, 1986, same year. Aired on NBC, 1 hour show. just one season, 14 episodes. And the plot was Hal Linden starred as magician Alexander Blacke with an E at the end. And he had some help from his father. He was a con man. His name was Leonard Blacke. And he would solve mysteries, to whatever crime was committed. And most of the time, it's not whodunits; it's how he did it. And so it was like The Magician in the 70s that starred Bill Bixby, kind of like that. I love The Magician. That's a great show. And also in the cast, that was recurring, we have R.J. Adams as Art Bayer. And also Claudia Christian as Lauren Black. You may remember her from Babylon 5. Susan Ivanova. Also as Jill is Pippin Ingalls. And also is Lieutenant Ted Burns. That was portrayed by Mark Shearer. You remember him from SWAT and from Barnaby Jones. Okay. So I watched the show when it aired. I liked it. Hal Linden is a wonderful actor, from Barney Miller. He was good in this role, but unfortunately it did not continue the air. I guess a lot of people didn't tune in. The ratings were not that great. So that's a shame. This should be on DVD. If it does come out, I would get it. I really would. It's a great 80s nugget. I would get that. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song for Black's Magic. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit more about Hal Linden. Okay, so sit back and enjoy and listen to the theme song. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Black's Magic. I talk a little bit about Hal Linden. He was born March 20th, 1931. He's 92 years old. He's still with us. God bless him. He started as a big band musician. He did that. Then he was in the theater, and mostly. As for television, didn't do much before he got his breakthrough role as Barney Miller. One notable TV appearance he did before that was in Car 54, Where Are You? And he played an assistant DA. His name was Clark. And I have the DVD of the show, and I saw him, and he looks so different. I don't think he had a mustache. I don't remember. It's been a while. But when you heard his voice, you know it was him right away. And so that's great. Of course, like I said before, he did Barney Miller, and that show was a classic TV series with a great supporting cast, and that series, premiered 1975, ended 1982, and I think he was there for every episode. I don't think he missed a show. No, he didn't do that, and he continues to act. The last acting role he did was Grey's Anatomy about 4 years ago. So I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's doing well. I hope he does, because he's wonderful. He's a wonderful man and a wonderful actor. Okay. Next up, we have from the 1990s the TV sitcom Aliens in the Family. This one is bizarre. It really is. I kind of remember it, sort of, but it was so brief. It really was. And that's probably a lot of people don't remember it also. So here's the lowdown on this show. Premiered March 15th, 1996. And then ended August 31st, 1996 on ABC. This was part of the TGIF Friday programming lineup. It was a half-hour show, only had 8 episodes. Oh, boy. So it was a sitcom, science fantasy sitcom like that. So the premise of the show was there was a single dad whose name was Doug Brady, portrayed by John Bedford Lloyd, and he was abducted by a single alien mom. Her name was Cookie, portrayed by Margaret Trigg. Then they fell in love, then they got married, and then they tried to live a normal life on Earth, not her planet. So the rest of the cast was Paige Tiffany as Heather Brody, Chris Marquette as Adam Brody, also Julie Dretson as Sally Hagen, like that. And this was created from the Jim Henson production company. And Brian Henson was, of course, the son of Jim Henson. He was also served a co-executive producer. This was filmed in New York, not Hollywood. No. It did, they aired it for two shows, and then they pulled it, and like that. And let's see. And then the rest of the episodes aired during the summer, starting in July. So that's just let them go like that. And a lot of people didn't like it. It was, I don't know, something went wrong. I saw it once. So I recently saw a couple episodes, no, maybe just one episode on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I think most of the episodes are. So you be the judge of that if you like it. But it was bizarre. It really was. I can understand why it was pulled like that. And I don't know. So anyway, right now I'm going to play the theme song for Aliens in the Family. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about actor John Bedford Lloyd. A lot of people don't know him, but you know his face. Okay, so sit back and enjoy the theme song, excuse me. And this is sung, I think it was sung by, the composer was Todd Rundgren. Yeah, he composed that show, and performed by him too. So you can hear his voice, famous 70s singer back then. Okay. So here's the theme song for Aliens in the Family. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Aliens in the Family. It was very short. Okay, as for the actor, John Bedford Lloyd, he was born January 2nd, 1956. He's mostly a character actor. He was born in New Haven, Connecticut. He appeared in a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. His first film role was in Trading Places. Also in Chud. Crossing Delancey, uh, Philadelphia. He was in that. A lot of movies like that. Also, his first TV appearance was Hometown from 1985. Spencer for Hire. He was in L.A. Law. Played in a few roles in Law and Order. He was in Spin City. Also appeared in All My Children, the soap opera. And also Pan Am. Remember that brief show in 2011? Also in Gotham and Ozark. He was in Ozark, for about 10 episodes. So, yeah, very talented man. He was great. He's a great actor. Okay. Next up, we have from the 2000s is the drama The Bedford Diaries. And this premiered on March 29th, 2006, ended May 10th, 2006. Very short. Had 8 episodes, 1 season on the WB. And that starred Penn Badgley and also Matthew Modine. And Matthew Modine played Professor Jake Macklin. So the purpose of the show explores the excitement and intensity of a college in New York City through the eyes of 6 students with different backgrounds, experiences, ages, and they were brought together in a seminar that was very provocative, like that. And so that's an interesting title, but I saw it once. Didn't do very well. Also starred in the show was Audra McDonald as Professor Carla Bonatel, and she was a political science professor. And she butted heads with Professor Macklin. Also the Dino students that was portrayed by Peter Goretti. His role is Harold Harper. So she's a wonderful actress. Great Broadway actress. As for the rest of the cast, like I mentioned, it was Penn Badgley as Owen Gregory. Also Victoria Cartagena as Zoe Lopez, and also someone else who was well known in the cast was Milo Ventimiglia as Richard Thorne. He was in that one of his earliest roles, like that. So I saw briefly the show on YouTube. It's okay. It's a great show. It's great to see Matthew Modine in the show because I like him. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for Bedford Diaries. And when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Matthew Modine. Okay? So sit back and enjoy the theme song for the Bedford Diaries. Thank you.
All your life, you try to make yourself into something more than a child should ever go through. How I wish that you could see you're already worth your weight in gold. You can't be bought or sold.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for the Bedford Diaries. I'll talk a little bit about Matthew Modine. He was born Matthew Avery Modine on March 22nd, 1959, from Loma Linda, California. He's an actor, director, producer, screenwriter, activist. He's done it all. He's a good actor. I like him. And his first role was in Baby It's You, and I think that's with Rosanna Arquette. I saw this movie a long time ago. Long time ago. He was good in that. Of course, his famous role was Vision Quest. And that was a good movie. And that's famous for that thing of the song from Madonna. It's crazy about you. Like that. And he played a lot of movies. Also Full Metal Jacket. Memphis Belle. He's still acting to this day. He really was. And let's see, let's see if he did some television like that. Not much. He did later on. He was in Law and Order. He was on The West Wing, like that, and hosted Saturday Night Live way back in 1988 when Vision Quest was big back then. I saw him recently on Seth Meyers, the talk show. He's still great. He's a good movie, and he was in the music video for "Crazy for You," that's sang by Madonna. He was featured in that. Okay. All right. So the last show we have from the 2010s, very briefly, is The Great Indoors, that TV sitcom. Let's see. And that first aired October 27, 2016, ended May 8th, 2017. And that premiered on CBS, had one season, 22 episodes. It starred the very talented Joel McHale. So the premise was explores a multi-generational workforce among the tech-savvy millennial online team. And Joel McHale played Jack Gordon, played a reporter in charge of the magazine publishing department. Excuse me. Had a good cast. One of the most famous, well-known cast members was Stephen Fry. He is an actor and comedian, like that. And let's see, also Susan Fielding. She played Roland's daughter. Let's see, Stephen Fry played Roland. That's his character's name. Also, the rest in the cast was Christopher Charles Mintz, Plass, Chris Williams, Christine Coe, Sean Brown, and of course Deborah Baker Jr. She was in that. I saw the show maybe once. No, I didn't. Wasn't that great. But Joel McHale's famous for his role in Community, which is a better show, like that. And but you know what? The show is on DVD. If you want to order through Amazon, help yourself. It's also on YouTube if you care to watch it. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song for The Great Indoors. When I come back, it's very short. It's about 9 seconds. I'll talk a little bit more about Joel McHale. Okay, so here it is. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for The Great Indoors. Excuse me. I think I said outdoors. I'm not sure. It was a very brief opening. I'll talk a little bit about Joel McHale. He was born November 20th, 1971 in Rome, Italy. I think he was raised in Washington State. He's best known for hosting The Soup that ran from 2004 to 2015. I remember that on the E! Network. Excuse me. Also in his role as Jeff Winger on the sitcom Community that ran from 2009 to 2015. I love that show. It's funny, like that. And he hosted Card Sharks, that game show that was rebooted recently. I like that show. I really did. Recently, I watched him on Stargirl. He played Starman. Sylvester Pemberton. Oh, he was good in that. But that was a serious role. But he's usually a funny man. But you just look at him and you start laughing. So that was great. Still, what a wonderful actor. He really was. Okay. So that's it for this show. So I'll do a recap of what I talked about. So here's the lineup again. From the 1950s, the TV Western Broken Arrow. From the 1960s, the anime TV series Space Ghost and Dino Boy. From the 1970s, the TV sitcom All's Fair. From the 1980s, the crime drama Black's Magic, that is. From the 1990s, the TV sitcom Aliens in the Family. From the 2000s, the TV drama, the Bedford Diaries. Also from the 2010s, the sitcom The Great Indoors. What a lineup. So it's an interesting lineup I chose. It really is. Okay. So this episode will be published soon. It'll be ready on my YouTube channel, TV Oblivion, also on my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter, if you'd like to care to listen. Also be available wherever podcasts are, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. So it'll be a while. So just be patient, and it takes time to do that. Okay. I will do another episode probably next weekend. It'll be episode 39. So we'll see. Okay. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for TV Oblivion, the podcast. Everyone have a great Sunday. And right now I'm going to play the Pick and Pluck song that'll end the show. So here's bye-bye for me, and here is the ending of the show. Take care, everyone. So long.